Chen here. Welcome to another episode of Hoonigan Autofocus. We are in Japan at the Tokyo Auto Salon and we're on the show floor. Our friends at Yokohama Tire and KW Suspension brought us out here to cover car culture in Japan. And right now, we're gonna feature this awesome A86 in the KW Suspension booth. We've got the builder here, Mr. Kamada-san, and my really good friend Aki from Hashimoto Corporation / KW, right? So you guys distribute all the KW suspension out here.
Yeah.
All right, so unfortunately, Mr. Kamada-san does not know how to speak English, which is fine, but I'll talk to Aki about this car and then that way we'll kind of get all the info. What inspired you to build this car?
それに出るために作りました。
Hot version has a A86 N2 competition type of thing. So this is how he built this car.
That's kind of one of the crazy things about the A86. It's one of those chassis that's been around for so long and so many people have had their hands on it to build it their own way. Like what sort of different things did he do to make it his own?
最大限馬力を出すように仕上げてます。
7AG has a engine and 16 valves, 1.8 liter, but within that limit, he wants to have the maximum power.
Right. So how much power is he making out of this, you think?
今の現状で275馬力。
275 horsepower.
275 horsepower out of a 1.8 liter?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, what does it rev out to then on the RPMs?
9,300 with a limiter.
Wow. So it makes that much power and it's NA?
Then we go talk about the NAですよね。NA.
Wow, okay. Tell us about the body kit. Where is the kit from?
He doesn't sell, but this is Tekar original body kit for this car only.
Really? So this is a one-off body kit that he made himself?
Yes.
Very cool. And tell us about the wheels.
Equipped 03, 9x15 or 4 wheels.
9x15 all the way around, square. Wow, that's so cool. I think this is
He's going to sell probably the dry sample.
Oh, so he's gonna actually sell, or he's actually going to manufacture the dry sump system for the 4AG. 7AG, wow, unbelievable, so cool. So has he taken it to the track yet, this thing?
スピードウェイ、岡山国際サーキット。
Tsukuba Fuji Okayama is the circuit that he usually.
Oh, what does this do at Tsukuba?
Tsukuba ではこれはドリフト。
いやこれはグリップを。
グリップ。
はい。グリップでタイムで言うと59秒。
59 second.
Oh, under 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Very cool. Tell us a little bit about the suspension. Why he went with KW suspension on this project?
When he saw the diagram or what's inside of KW suspension, he immediately said he wanted to put the suspension into the car.
Just because it's a little softer, or just in terms of like?
In terms of what's inside, in terms of what's inside here, he saw this, how they're making, so many parts. It feels, better than others.
And that's the thing is, I've actually been to the facility in Germany where they build every one of these suspensions by hand, and it's made to order. But that's kind of one of the crazy things about KW is they're actually trying to get it into the Japanese market, and they're making suspension for older cars like the A86. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Thank you so much for showing us your car. Cannot wait to shoot it. Cannot wait to hear it.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
What's up, guys? Larry Chen here. We are at the Nissan booth here, and I have behind with me the really awesome GTR 50 by Italy Design. We got Justin over here. He could tell us all about this thing. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you so much for having us.
No worries at all. Thank you for coming on the stand.
This is really cool. I'm a really big GTR guy. I have a R32 GTR. Yes, that I like to tell everyone. And everyone also says like, oh, I'm so glad you got an R32 and you didn't get an R34. I'm like, that's not by choice, okay? The 34 is really, really expensive. But I'm a big GTR guy, and I really like seeing this because it's almost just an updated, more futuristic version of the R35. So tell us a little bit about this car.
The way this car came about, of course, last year was the 50th anniversary of the GTR. The Hks came out in 1969, as did the Z actually. It was a great year for Nissan. And Ital Design, they also celebrated their 50th anniversary. And it was Ital Design who came to Nissan who said, let's partner on this and let's make something. There are a lot of elements of older GTRs in here. You can see a little bit of R34 at the back. The mouth, there's definitely a lot of Ken Mary going on here.
So that's kind of the thing is, I've seen so many pictures of it, I've seen videos of it, but you don't really get the sense of how special it is until you actually see it in person. You see the taillights. It's not just about the looks about this car, it performs also.
It certainly does. I mean, they've got the power up to 720 horsepower, which is a 50% increase on what the R35 had when it came out in 2007. They did that by fitting GTR GT3 pistons and conrods. There is a new forged crankshaft in there. Once you've got all that power, all that torque, you're going to ruin the clutch. So they had to upgrade the clutch. Next came the gearbox. Oh dear, that's not going to take all this torque either. Upgraded the gearbox into the prop shaft, then into the drive shafts. So the whole car has been upgraded from the engine all the way to the wheels. And then when you look at the body, wow.
And that's kind of the thing about the body. A lot of people say, especially when the R35 came out for the first time, they're like, hey, it's supercar performance without supercar looks. Now I feel like it's finally supercar performance with the looks and all of that. I'm so glad to be able to feature this car. Thank you so much for coming out. I just cannot wait to see these on the street.
Well, there's only going to be 50 of them, so you're going to have to work hard to see them on the street.
This may not be a JDM car, but it's definitely one of my favorite cars of the show. I used to play this in video games as a kid. I just never thought I would ever actually see one in person. It's so cool looking. It just doesn't, as Shane said, doesn't even look like a real car.
I walked by it earlier by myself and I thought it was totally like a one-off custom car. And then Larry's like, oh my God, look at that!
Yeah, I'm freaking out right now because I just can't believe, I've never seen one. A CLK GTR, just so cool. It's really unbelievable to see it in person. The lines, the shape, all the little latches and everything that kind of make it so special. It would be really awesome to shoot this on the street. So if any of you guys have a CLK GTR, please let me shoot. Yeah, please let me shoot it. If you have a CLK GTR, please hit us up and let us shoot it on the streets. This car kind of stopped me in my tracks. I'm laughing because
Larry's really immature.
I'm so immature. The thing is, it's the little Defender, okay? They made like a miniature Defender with a Suzuki Jimny, but instead of calling it a little Defender, they call it the little D.
Brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before.
I can't stop laughing. It's just so funny. They have some very interesting naming here in Japan. Actually, just show the picture here. It's the Subaru FUCK.
FUCK,
Yeah.
We can't say it.
There's some very interesting naming here. There's a FAF car here. We'll check that out in a second. But I just, little things like this, like the little D, just make me laugh.
Someone has
That's
a
all.
good sense of humor.
Someone has a good sense of humor. Yeah, that's a good point. These guys always have these builds that really just inspire me, and I can't help but want to photograph Kato-san's creations, you know? And this Mira, while I know this is a kit car, it's not actually a real Mira, it's still really cool to kind of see this sort of build. Having a chance to photograph the stock ones, like for example, Jay Leno's, he has 2 of them and we photographed them quite a bit. I always pictured in my mind what it would be like to see them modified, and to see this one here, it's just so low. It's really, really low, and it just has this amazing stance. One of the cool things about this car is that it actually is running old school Advan tires. It's running AO50s, 325 in the rear and 205 in the front. Look how wide this thing is in the back. It's so crazy. I just love it.
This is probably one of my favorite things about Japan is you think they're taking photos of like a cool car, but they don't care about the car at all. They're trying to take pictures of the girls.
Well, it's funny because, yeah, it's definitely a wall of photographers, and you think they are taking pictures of this thing. No, they're just taking pictures of a girl. It's kind of weird because I've been to so many countries, I've been to so many car shows all over the world. I've never seen anything like this anywhere else, and it's acceptable, which it's kind of interesting, you know, that's kind of what they're into. They're here for the girls, they're not actually here for the cars.
It'd be the coolest car like on the other side where the girl isn't. No one cares. They don't want to take a picture of the girl. It's hilarious.
That's, yeah. Welcome to Japan. All right, so this is another car that I really like. I'm not exactly sure if it's more the name or just kind of the weirdness or the proportion of it. That's kind of the fun thing about coming to Tokyo Auto Salon. You know, you get American cars, European cars, crazy JDM cars, but you get these weird cars. Like this is a beach cruiser, I guess. Like it's manual, 4-speed. It's just so funny, I love it. Of course it's right-hand drive. What a cool little car. Got the accessories in the back, ready for the beach. The fit and finish is super good too. Just the wood, everything about it is just so awesome.
The only thing is, I think you'd have to put more seats because all the chicks you pick up driving this thing.
Shane always has the very interesting commentary. Thank you, Shane.
Hey, I'm just being real.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's do it. We'll play this clip right now. This is exactly what we're talking about. These guys are just animals out here. Just trying to get a piece. It's because they're used to seeing the little pixels, if you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, hey, we can't talk about that. These Mark III Supers are always kind of really cool in my eyes, and they always kind of have a soft spot in my heart. I love the way they look. This one's actually pretty special. This one is converted into an electric car. It has a pretty interesting green flake paint job on it too. But the point is, for me, with eco and with electric cars, everyone asks me, what do you think about eco or electric cars? I always say, as long as they're cool, as long as they're fun to drive, as long as they still include the enthusiasts, I'm okay with them. And this is exactly one of those examples of it. It's so cool. It's still has a manual transmission. It looks great. I'm sure it's still a lot of fun to drive. That's what makes this car cool, you know? It's unique. It has a unique power plant. This GT86 by 326 power is just so insane. I just cannot believe how crazy this kit is. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what it's supposed to be like. It's like a Lamborghini or something. You can actually see the inside of the rear tire. I've never really seen a kit that lets you do that. I mean, they're always known to make these really crazy builds, but this one is really on a new level, and I really appreciate it. I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's not my cup of tea in terms of what I would drive, but props to them for building something this insane. This is insane right here. Look at the scene. What is that guy even taking pictures of? He has a 300mm on. Oh my God. All right. I'm not exactly sure we're at the right show. Did we just walk into a different kind of show? I don't know. This is so insane. Oh my God. This is just insane. It's just a little too much for me. I think I'm gonna stick to shooting cars. While I love this van or whatever it is, I don't even know what kind of car it is. I guess I'm more really into the style now. I've been coming to Japan for 15 years now. I've been to Tokyo Auto Salon twice, but I've never really seen that many off-road vehicles here. You know, the trend crosses the ocean. Overlanding is super big in the US right now, especially at the SEMA show. So of course, it's only natural to see it here in Japan. This thing is awesome. It has a winch, it has KC lights. Yeah, it's not so much about this specific truck. There's just so many spread across all the hulls here that are really, they just look so cool, and it's just very fitting for Japan. You know, they're a little smaller. I'm sure they're just as capable, if not more capable, because you know, there's a smaller wheelbase. But it's just kind of cool just to see that they're kind of getting into this culture also.
Coupe Dynamism Unos Cosmo.
I think I've only seen a couple of these cars ever, but this is interesting. It's called the GT300 Spec Cosmo. The Cosmo is the only car that's ever come with a 3-rotor from the factory, and this one is a pretty modified 20B. It's NA, but it's just so crazy to see it built in this way. I'm kind of sad that this never was stateside, but like, this is it. This is the Mazda VIP, the Mazda, just totally all out crazy build here. Oh my God, look at this thing. It's so cool. I just love the way this one sits. It's really something else. All right, so now we're at HKS, and they have probably one of my favorite Supras ever with the actual like old school HKS livery. But this one is definitely more of their street build. And it was a tough sell for me at first, just like everyone else, for the A90 Supra. As I see them more in person, and as I see them getting modified like this, it's just very tasteful. You know, they're putting their own take on this car. This one is great. It has the HKS body kit, and of course it's running Advan wheels with Advan Apex 601 tires. Interesting thing about these tires versus Advan Neovas, these actually are US only. In terms of size, in terms of tread pattern, it's just one of those things where they've built something that caters more to the US market. These are actually the same tires that I was running on the 2019 Mustang SEMA build. And just a side note, I am actually going to be building an A90 Supra. So just kind of seeing these builds here in Japan, it's kind of giving me inspiration for my own build. So I'm really looking forward to that. Everyone's just passing by it, but this is the actual legendary HKS R32. I've seen so many videos of it, but I've never actually seen it in person. It's just so cool. I mean, you could see all of the battle damage and all of the marbles hitting this thing. It has air jacks, but of course those are the wheels that I would love to have on my R32. Real Nismo GTLM center lock wheels, so cool. Everything about it. It's like kind of like a time capsule. It's like untouched. Oh, these are so cool. Of course, running the old school Yokohama Advan racing slicks. Unbelievable. Oh, oh. This thing is so cool. This thing is so cool. This is actually my buddy Dino's favorite car of the show. I could see why. It's a EK Civic, but it's redone, I guess not really resto modded. It's actually what the EK Civic would have looked like if it came out in 2020. Look at this thing, so cool. Everything's been redone. The gauges, the interior, even kind of like a newer version of the old wheel. I actually really like the headlights and tail lights too. Just completely updated. Oh, even the mirrors, the turn signals. But wow, look at that interior. There you go, Civic 2020. I would totally drive this thing. This thing is so cool. I actually like it. I like the way it looks. Of course, it's running Yokohama Advent AO52 tires. Thing is so awesome. I love it. Nice Recaro seats. Still manual transmission, which is really, really crucial, which is really cool. I love it. This is just kind of one of those things where it's like, I already thought there was a lot of A90 Supras at the SEMA show, but when we come here to Tokyo Auto Salon, I think it's more than 60. There's one even here at the KW booth that's also running on Yokohama tires. We are at the Kansai service booth, and Kansai service used to be called HKS Kansai service, and I've actually visited their shop. I really like their philosophy because it's so much more about performance versus aesthetics. They just keep it simple and clean, and it's just so cool to kind of see their lineup that they brought here to TAS. They got a really clean R35 GTR, which is so cool. It just has these little touches. It has some various parts on it. Of course, their R34 GTR. Look at this thing. Oh my God, 620 horsepower. HKS 2.8 liter with two-step. Whew. I could not imagine driving this thing. This thing has got to be so much fun to drive. Of course, they have a new A90 Supra and let's see, the Kansai 86. You know what? This is kind of one of those things. I look at this and these power numbers, 320 kilowatts. This is how much power the car should have come from the factory. I mean, with the HKS single turbo kit, now this is fun. I've had a chance to top out GT86s on the Autobahn, and you cannot go past 125, 130 miles per hour. It's just out of power at that point. But this is just the right amount of power for this kind of chassis, I feel like. I love this so much. Of course, all of their cars are running Yokohama Advent tires. Some are running Neovas, AD08Rs, and some of them are running AO52s. Man, it's just so cool to see this lineup. All white, super clean, just subtle things, amazing wheels, nice fitment, all of the goodies, lots of power. I love it so much. I would love to visit them again. Unfortunately, this time we're not going to the Kyoto area. Next time I'm in their area, definitely need to stop by and check out what they're working on. Holy crap. This is insane. All right, so the show is closing, but of course we're walking around trying to get our last minute features in. This thing is so crazy. It's a Crown Deluxe, but it actually has a 2J in it. It's hilarious. Like, you would never suspect something like this has a 2J. Look at this. It's so crazy looking. Oh my God. It started out as a Suzuki Lapin. Now it looks like a Jimny front end, but look at the tires. Oh my God. This thing is so crazy looking. Ah, it's so awesome. I love the tilt-up steering wheel. All the interior, the dash is so finished. Nice bridge seats. Oh, got some loafers too. It's on air ride, of course, as you would. Oh, look at this thing. It's just too cool.